week 2 of our fantasy football podcast. I'm Sam, as always, and we have commission this time. Mr. Rob, how's it going?
Fantastic, Sam. I'm quite sober tonight. However, I did just get off the long 4-hour drive home from Sacramento listening to nothing but old school hardcore punk. So I'm fired up in a different way. Let's roll it, bro.
Let's roll. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. We're 2 weeks in. Any surprises for you there that sticks out? I mean, for me, it's Dave. Mr. Fat Wagon, 2-0, second highest total scores so far. That's shocking to me, Mr. Rob.
Yeah, I assume he doesn't listen to this, so I'll just say the same old thing because I wouldn't want to inspire him to keep looking after keep playing after week 6. But Dave's been having good drafts for years, and unfortunately, he doesn't necessarily keep up with the pickups. And speaking of the Fat Wagon here, and my man over there, cousin Stevie, I do apologize. Dave actually did the opposite and turned his picks in way too damn early for me to even see him. You have to understand, from Thursday to by the time I'm looking at the Saturday afternoon, we got like another 900 emails in there on there back and forth. So my bad on that, but there you go.
Gotcha. So he said it way too early, and it just fell below all the other emails.
Oh, God, man. And what's funny is I read like 3 other emails from Dave in between. I finally just gave up,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Cool.
There you go, though.
Yeah, so standings, New Denver, of course, and is in first place overall with 322 points.
I like New Denver. If you actually do the math there, you see 322 points, which you see his last week's score of 161. That is not a typo. I guess he is... If you do that 3 weeks in a row, I'm going to give him a special $50 bonus out of my own pocket, man.
Oh, you heard it here, Don.
He's the 161 kid, man.
You heard it here, Don.
Yeah, I ain't really doing that.
So let's okay. Let's talk about our first matchup. Let's start from Team 16 here. Nolan versus Bruin Maniacs here. Nolan just fell short again, Rob.
Hey, let's throw some love Brood Maniac's way to start with here, man. It's, I don't know. I don't like this team too much, as you know, but I do love Mike. And, what is he, 2-time champion, right?
Yep, 2-time.
And he maximized this thing. I mean, basically, dude, Arizona just put him away, right?
Oh, my gosh.
I think that was kind of pedestrian, right? Matthews.
Who did they play again?
Pardon me?
Who did Arizona play again?
They played one of the teams from Florida. I have a theme on that coming later. 40.5 out of Arizona. I don't know. Tay had it at 41.5. I read that like 5 times. I think he probably lost track too. It was a good week. It's 115 if you take away Arizona from that, but that's why he drafted Arizona. By the way, 1 pick before I was going to take him, that bastard. It's kind of funny. I don't like his team that much, but on the flip side, he kept taking, I think 5 times he took a player I was going to take before me. So, and Ryan Matthews, man, I mean, he gets 3 points running, but 20 on the touchdowns. That was nice. Play the Bears every week. God, that team looks awful. Real good performance out of him. So maybe I'm a little wrong on that team, and God forbid that the commissioner's ever wrong, right?
Yeah.
Nolan on the flip side, dude, he kind of got, we talked about it going in pretty heavy. It's like this is a winnable game. You got to get Bortles out there against a BS defense out of San Diego, but those Florida teams don't travel too well, Sam. I mean, dude, I did it in the car driving home. I'll just get it on the way down. If I'm not mistaken, the total combined score of the Florida teams on the road this weekend at halftime was like 84-3. Okay, it was absurd, and the only reason they even looked good at all is because New England stopped playing late in that game just to make sure they didn't get anybody else injured. Right? I mean, God knows that one of their quarterbacks might actually be the quarterback next week. Right? So, tough luck for Nolan. 14 points out of he actually got. 18 points out of his receivers, as did I. So, Kansas City to this point is quite disappointing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. In that conference, is Oakland better than Kansas City this year? Ooh.
No.
No,
if you can't win at home against fucking Atlanta, you're not better than Kansas City. Kansas City will get it going. Defensively, they'll be fine. I have no doubt about that. I think Kansas City's bigger problem is that offensive line, but that's a whole other subject, which might impact them. They can run block like gods, but they cannot pass protect at all. Eric Fisher has got to be the biggest bust number one pick in a long time. But no one's learning a quick lesson here, man. Defenses, dude, they're a bitch.
No, Rob.
Marcus Peters gets 2 beautiful interceptions, but they still are only worth 3.5 points, right?
No, this year, at the greenhouse, does Nolan talk more football this season since he's in it? Compared to last season, is he talking more football to you?
Dude, my son has been talking sports with me since he was like 4, and he's smart about it. He knows his shit. So we talk football constantly. He loved the game on Sunday night. I sat there and bagged on Eddie Lacy, which I won't do this week just out of respect to the Lacy family. But I mean, I will say this, and we did agree, if I'm not mistaken, Eddie Lacy, 2 more years on a different team next year, and he's out of football, dude. That guy's useless. I am just, it boggles my mind what a useless football player he is, dude.
Alabama running backs, man, they have that.
They do. But hey, Bernie took it out on my kid. I've taken it out on his kids a few times. I figure turnabout's fair play, and we'll see if he keeps it going. But that was a nice one this week.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next matchup. Mr. Fat Wagon against Kelly Knights. Kelly Knights put up 72.5.
And I don't want to laugh because I kind of feel like Kelly Knights, man. He beat me for I think he had the second highest score and I had the third highest score last week. And, at least I didn't fall that far this week. Let me go back over the standings here. 72.5 to, where is that? Let me find it here.
155? Is that what you're talking about?
And last week he had you do the math. He had about 186 or something. Who cares? So it's quite a drop, man. We should probably put a monetary value in there. Fat Wagon, whether they're Thursday, Sunday, at the end of the day, the score was going to be about the same, right? Philadelphia's defense didn't suck, and Phillip Rivers killed it. So I guess you saved some flex action there. It's a nice week for him. Aaron Rodgers is. And just to ask you a quick question here, Sam. I mean, is Rodgers still elite when it comes to fantasy?
It was on the road in Minnesota. I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but haven't we been saying that for about 2 years and 2 games now?
He'll be fine. He had no protection in that game. I was watching. He had no protection.
Oh, so they're going to fix the offensive line this week, right?
They better. They better.
I mean, I'm seriously starting to question it, man. I mean, there's no running game.
No running game.
It's just, let's go back to Eddie Lacy for 10 minutes. It was not. I'm not sure about him anymore. He's a good player, but I don't know if he's really fantasy elite anymore. That might have passed. Julio Jones, I'll give him respect, man. They got 7 out of the 11 defenders on him all game long.
Yep.
And he still manages to get over 100 yards. The guy's a stud. Hopkins, and that was kind of fun, too. If you're watching the Hopkins-Marcus Peters showdown, that was pretty cool, dude. Hopkins got the better early, and Peters got him late, so that was cool. Who the hell is he playing? Oh, Kelly Knights. Hey, Stevie, I love you, bro. You're a good guy. There ain't nothing to talk about on this, man. Honestly.
Peterson injured, Foster. Foster's Foster, but man, he has 2 running backs out with injuries.
But did he trade? Dude, he took all running backs in the first 4 picks, man. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was. I mean, we're sitting there going, how does he have C.J. Anderson as his number 3? Oh yeah, it was all running backs, man. And I guess so he's still okay there as he goes in C.J. Anderson, even though you got to kind of wonder a little bit with the rookie, and then with C.J. Dude, I mean, Denver's defense, I'll tell you what, looked fantastic on Sunday. I had the honor of watching all these games in detail, and I mean, that defense is for real, but that offense, I'm still not sure about that. I think
agree.
as the season goes on
I agree.
and you get into division, you might see those numbers go down. They weren't that impressive this week, so.
Yeah. Stevie made a mistake. It ain't gonna help. If he would have started Fitzgerald, it's not gonna help. But Fitzgerald had a good game for an old man.
Oh man, dude, the guy looks like fucking Superman out there.
Yeah,
He's taking all my points from Michael Floyd, man. It's driving me crazy.
For sure, but Kelly Knight. Oh gosh, 72. Rob, is that the lowest so far this season? I got 80 last week. But,
it's the lowest so far, but it's, dude, he's gonna, if Drew Brees is at home, he's loving life, right?
Yeah.
He has no receivers to bail him out. What he's hoping for is no more injuries to those running backs because it's getting kind of sketchy there now, man.
Come on, guys, make some moves. Pickups tonight. Of course, it's by 8 now, but you gotta make some moves, guys.
8-ish.
But good job, Fat Wagon, Kelly Knights. I hope you make some good moves, and hopefully no more injuries to you, Kelly Knights.
Actually, I hope he has about 7 more injuries. He's in the same conference.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's no love lost in this league. I know nobody roots for Gang Green, all right?
This is fantasy, that's right. So let's go to the next matchup, Code Blue versus Wolfpack here. Of course, Code Blue is Tay. For some reason, he changed that to Code Blue for some reason. Wolfpack came up with a dismal 78 points. Oh my God!
All right, this game sucked. 123 is a winning performance this week, and I'm sure Scott's sitting there going, "Why did I get to play Code Blue this week?" It wasn't that remarkable. I look at Code Blue's team so I can just take as much focus off my team as possible here. Lamar Miller, is the guy going to find the end zone this year? I thought that was supposed to be some guy wrote like 9 articles on Sports Illustrated about how he was guaranteed to be fantasy gold at running back this year. He would be the dominant player, and I'm not seeing it. And David Johnson, dude, it's hard to keep up with those guys in Arizona when they're scored, and they scored a lot last week. And I'm like, oh, there goes David Johnson. Oh, my bad, that was Chris Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another guy that's got C.J. Anderson late. I'm not really sure how that happened, but how that guy fell that far. But Snead, I don't know. Is the number one really?
Moncrief is out with the injury, so he's done. He has Melvin Gordon, so maybe he'll he can start using Melvin Gordon.
And any day now, Randall Cobb's actually going to live up to that contract, right? And that's why we keep drafting that high. Or that's not going to happen, right? Melvin Gordon, we're going to save for my team for the positive. He got a cheap win there, 123. That'll get it done maybe, what do you figure, about 28.736% of the time this league. As you can look across the board, that's not going to get it done unless you're playing Kelly Knights this week. Or, unfortunately, the Wolfpack, or I guess King Green, but we don't want to talk about that. Wolfpack, Russell Wilson, come on, man. Again, we were talking about, what's his name? Is Rodgers still the number one, at this point? But Russell Wilson never has been, and I'm pretty sure never will be, even though he'll have a couple games. And we talked about Johnson, Murray. Dude, you just kind of have to wonder until how much longer they hand that over to Henry there, right?
Yeah.
Murray started a little slow. He looks pretty good. Obviously Spencer Ware, that ain't going to last much longer. And when you're running into games with Sanu and Gronkowski, who didn't even play, taking a risk, I don't even know what the hell that was about, dude. He turns it over and he's like, fingers crossed. I'm all, oh, what? It was terrible. Todd doesn't deserve any credit. Well, he was giving me shit at the bar about bashing on his team, but, come on, Sam. How do I not, right?
Yeah, that's great. Oh, Jordan Matthews caught an easy touchdown. He dropped an easy touchdown. I watched, oh my God, right through the fingers. Sam Bradford dropped it right into your hands. He dropped it.
I know. Not Sam Bradford. No, Sam Bradford plays in Minnesota now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wentz. I'm sorry, Wentz.
Yeah. It's kind of curious to see how long this Philadelphia thing keeps going, right? Yeah, I'm curious there, but he's got Dan Bailey. He loves them, so Anyway,
78 points. All right,
he's going to have to step that up quite a bit. Even though that division is not exactly. Hold on, that division is fantastic. I think I have to play a game against one of them next week. So, it's an amazing division over there.
Now let's go to my matchup against Scott. Let me tell you a story. Sunday night, Scott texts me saying, I'm up by 3. He said, Sam, you're up by 3 points. I have Green Bay's defense going. I'm going to beat you. He says that. I'm like, okay, and I'm a little worried. I am a little worried. 3 points, Green Bay defense at Minnesota. I'm like, crap, I could lose. You know what I mean? I could lose. So I'm just sitting there watching the game, and third quarter rolls around. I was like, I'm texting Scott. I was like, dude, I think I can win, and all this other stuff. We're going back and forth, and by golly gee whiz, Green Bay lost, and I won, and that was all she wrote. So, yeah, Scott celebrated prematurely. All right, he was over there talking smack, saying he's going to win. I wish I had that text so I can put it up on screen, but I accidentally deleted it. I was making the graphics earlier, right, Rob? And I was like, oh, yeah, let's pull up that text message from Scott, and I can use it as a graphic. And I'm like, oh, no, I deleted it. That would have been so great to pull up here, But anyways, Rob, Gurley, I'm still not panicking yet on Gurley. Rawls, I am panicking on him. Abdullah, he's injured. So I'm making some moves tonight. Hopefully that does good. Cam Newton, dude. I mean, I'm so glad I was able to get him in the second round. I picked him up in the second round, and dude, the guy is playing like MVP like last year. So that's what I'm hoping for. Now, let's go. Scott's side, Hopkins, of course. Dude, Houston is just airing it out with, what's his name, Brock Osweiler. And
Hey, wait, Sam. Airing it out to both teams, but okay, continue on.
With Fuller, Fuller's not here, but both receivers are just blowing it up for them, Kelvin Benjamin, stupid Kelvin Benjamin, I wish he wouldn't have him, so Newton should stop throwing it to him, close matchup. Scott texted me after the game. He was like, I think I lost by 2. That's what he said. He was like, I think I lost by 2. I was like, cool, that was an exciting Sunday night for me, Rob. And you wanna add anything to this matchup here?
I'll add just a couple things. One, how can you delete Scott's text? I favor them to come back to him for like years on end. I'm going to scroll down so far sometimes. Plus, I got like 19. He kept texting me over and over. Okay, I'm up by 2. No, I'm down by 2. Okay, I'm this. Okay, no, we're tied. I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, dude, just get the fucking scores right, I was sitting over at the bar with him, and he looked quite depressed all day because, we kept saying, how can you lose to Sam? Dude, this is the worst team in the league, bro.
Oh, what?
But, no, we didn't really. Well, okay, we did. By the way, I'd like to say you're timing this perfectly. I'm out having a cigarette. What I find most amusing about your game is I'm sure you can find, you're talking about that Green Bay game and everything, but at the end of the day, what catches me is you get 3 points out of Demaryius Thomas on some nonsensical freaking 2-point conversion at the end of the game, right? To me, that is the difference right there. Not to mention why are they running a 2-point conversion there? I guess it gets to 14 with under a minute to go, and in case Andrew Luck all of a sudden turned into the guy he was supposed to be, right? So it was crazy. Ties are always fun. They're a nightmare because I'm like, dude, I'm on a short schedule this week. I got to go out and I got to get all these scores. Everybody pump them into me, which kudos to Tay, Todd, and Scott for doing those and getting to me by Monday night. Then I got to come home, do the Monday night scores, pump them out, get everything going. And I'm like, you got a tie? No. He's like, check the scores. I go, of course, I'll check the scores, And sure enough, they're always fun, though. That was a good game, actually, you guys put on there. I'll give you both credit. I will say this, though. Kelvin Benjamin is, get him as a 4 receiver. I know there's a lot of sketchiness on that going in, but, man, that could turn out to be pretty good for him, man.
Yeah, Kelvin and the tight end, gosh, why can't I remember his name?
I don't know. Once he gets Charles back, man, I mean, and Charles will be coming back. Spencer Ware, we all were reminded why Spencer Ware is not a consistent starter around this league. It's because he can't hold on to the ball. Game-wise, that fumble he made was critical. I mean, just critical in that game, you know. So it was a game breaker right there. So, yeah, no, great game, guys. I mean, and Cam Newton, Jesus Christ. I mean, they were asking me who I would have taken number 3, and I was like, Cam Newton? You know, I would have gone 1, Brown, 2, Odell Beckham, who we're yet to really see. But, I mean, after that, it was Cam Newton, man. That guy's a god, and he's going to carry you to a lot of wins, Sam.
Yeah. All right. And good game, Scott. Good game. I had fun.
Now, is Gurley ever going to score, though?
I'm not panicking yet, Rob. Not yet, anyways.
I think the city of L.A. is panicking. I think that place is going to be half full next weekend, man. They ran out of water in the third quarter. Really? You know, at the game, I mean, it's a mess. If anybody's ever had the joy of going to a game at the L.A. Coliseum, you'll know why people won't be going back. So.
Jeez, they got to step their game up.
It's a mess, man.
All right, let's go to the next matchup. Defending champion Mr. Stavs versus New Denver, Rob.
You know, we've been taking a minute on all these games, but these guys are great players, man. And New Denver, I think Michael said when we were at the draft, he thought he had the best draft of anybody, and he sure put a show on this week here with 161 again, like we mentioned earlier. Nice performance out of him. Rodgers and Bortles. I mean, whether Rodgers is number 1 or not, I mean, he mixed them up. McCoy, a little disappointing. He's a little short of the running back. They didn't really do it for him this week, but even though, D'Angelo Williams, and, you're on borrowed time there. We got one more week there, right?
Yep.
Jonathan Stewart going down. Jeremy Hill's Jeremy Hill. But he put it together. He just put a winning matchup there. The 38 out of Denver didn't hurt. Stavs, kind of came back down to earth a little bit, but it didn't look like he was really putting his A-team out there in general. He's sitting on Le'Veon Bell waiting to come back out. Hyde, not a good start. I mean, Hyde's going to be a good start at home against bad defenses. Not a great one. So he's got to go to Langford and Ware. Some good depth there. I doubt those guys are on his team too much longer. He was smart enough not to start the Gronk. Mike Evans gets a bullshit late touchdown. But how about Stephon Diggs, man? Now, that might be the find of the draft right there. And what a great value pick, too, right? Number 4. I mean, talking about number 4 out of Benjamin. I mean, this is a ridiculous pick and a very gutsy one that might pay off because, 182 yards, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Sam Bradford, dude. Let's thank Sam Bradford for being over.
Sam Bradford, yeah, until he gets injured next week, because Bradford never gets injured. But as long as he hangs in there, Diggs is looking pretty good right now,
Yes.
And, Green Bay, I don't know about their defense. That was a good defensive game. It actually was a really good game. And, that's huge. And it's a losing effort. But that, how am I going to argue against the defending champ, number 1? And, these guys they put on a good game. The South came up on the wrong side. New Denver came up on the right side. Great flex to get a win because if not, he probably still pulls it out, but it's close,
Yeah.
So, great game for Don. Two good teams. They'll be around for quite a while.
I mean, Savs will only get stronger with Gronk coming back and then, Le'Veon Bell coming back. So, I mean,
yeah, but we don't want to talk about Savs getting stronger. Nobody wants to hear that, right?
Yeah.
I still got to play this guy, man.
He's in my division or conference, whatever, So.
Yeah, no, Savs has a team built for the long haul, man. It's he's probably going to need to do a little something up there at quarterback. I mean, I'm not sure about Luck.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It's tough to say after Denver. I mean, Denver's obviously still elite in defense, but just thank God we don't penalize for 1 interceptions and 2 just stupid plays, I mean, he has no help on that offense. Yeah. I'm not sure what couldn't. I mean, put him in Kansas City, and that's probably a Super Bowl team. It's just a mess there. They got a whole bunch of slot receivers that they're trying to put out there at the actual wide receiver position, and no running backs and no offensive line. So I mean, it's kind of hard to judge him, right?
he's getting punished out there. I mean, but again, that's Denver's line. I mean, we'll see how he does next week. I'm telling you, Denver's it's no fair comparing what happened to Luck in Denver. It's just no fair. I mean, Denver's elite, Rob. Denver's elite.
Well, yeah, I mean, they killed him. I mean, it was ridiculous. But Luck didn't look too much. He looked better against Detroit, but, they're a sieve, dude. I don't know, man. The guy continues to make kind of questionable decisions, but I just think it's hard to even judge Luck in general based on what he has to work with there. And I mean, if you're going to draft an elite quarterback like that and put an offensive line out in front of him and no running back help, I mean, my God, they should have I don't know, who's the kid in Darren Sproles? I mean, a guy like that coming out of the backfield, right? I mean, would be huge for him. Not freaking Frank Gore, a great player, man. But, I mean, that kind of ended in around 2012, okay? So it's poor. So, anyway.
Let's go to Turf Burners and Straight L.A.
All right, I have a special request that Michael said he did not want the call to go on for an hour and a half tonight, so he couldn't join us, but he was going to do about a half hour on Adrian Peterson and another 10 minutes on Mark Ingram. I'm going to start with Turf Burners here. Russell Wilson, you got my opinion there. Stafford, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, I think it's a good pick, too. I mean, Tyrod Taylor goes crazy on Thursday night, right? And what we all perceived was a defensive game, right? It didn't turn out to be that way. So he picks up Stafford. I think it's a good pickup, too. Then they go in there and they're playing Tennessee, and that's what we got. And then they actually ended up losing the game. I mean, that was kind of rough. So he's got quarterback problems. He's been known as a quarterback killer for years and still living up to it. Peterson, man, what do you think, bro? You're a big AP fan. Let me turn that over to you.
I'm a huge AP fan. He just got injured. It doesn't look as bad. I mean, even the day after
3 months, dude. That's what they're saying. 3 months.
Even after the day, they thought he could come back the following week. And we're like, really? And then, of course, they made that announcement following after that, how long he's going to be out for. But other people are saying he might be done as a Minnesota Viking because he's taking up so much cap room. And they just might release him before he comes back. So I think that might be the last time we see him in a Minnesota uniform, which sucks. I tend
to doubt that. I mean, he's been an exemplary citizen outside of that child beating thing he got accused of.
No, you're right. No, I'm not even talking about, I'm saying he's taking up so much cap space. I don't know, Rob. I don't know.
They'll restructure that. I mean, and his one fallback spot's always been Dallas, right? I mean, they have too many running backs there right now. It's no, I doubt that. He'll be back. They love him up there. Apparently, Minnesota, corporal punishment's pretty cool. So it's corporal punishment by low IQ guys. AP's a good player. I mean, I don't know about all that. I give him a hard time on that. It's weird, but. Yeah, I know. I don't think he's caught it. I think the next issue is, and again, taken away from my team, Will spend a second on me, is Mark Ingram. I mean, does the guy play there in New Orleans? It's hard to tell.
Well, Rob, I didn't watch the game, but were they playing from behind?
Man, that game last year they played, and freaking Manning, I think, Breeze threw 7 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
It was 0-0 at halftime, man. I mean, because that's what you expect out of New Orleans and the Giants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just an afterthought. And then you're going, close game, maybe you can grind it out here. 4 points, right? And, another thing on that team I'd ask, Allen Robinson. I mean, dude, was this supposed to be his year he steps up?
I guess Blake Bortles just going to somewhere else. Man, if Blake Bortles blew up and Allen Robinson's only getting that many points, I don't know.
Well, let's be real. Blake Bortles didn't blow up. He got some garbage time.
Garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, it was total. Dude, he had done nothing. I mean, they were up 35-0 in that game or something. I mean, it was absurd, dude. Like I said again, 84-3. Sam was the state of Florida traveling this weekend at halftime. So give or take a couple points.
Mike. Go ahead, Rob.
Pardon me?
I was gonna say Mike needs to start Fuller now from now on. Now that's my advice right there. That's good advice right there, Rob. Start Fuller from now on out.
Yeah. Hey, turf herders, I love you. I love you dearly. That team's in trouble, man. So that team's in trouble.
let's switch over real quick to straight LA because I mean we talked about a bunch of these players already. Nothing too surprising. What's that, Rob?
Well, I mean, here obviously picking up Matt Stafford, unlike turf herders here, Matt Stafford is a brilliant move.
Mm-hmm.
Compliments Cam Newton very nicely. You throw him in there, and you can throw him on the scrap heap after you flex him a couple times. It was fantastic. So a brilliant move, kind of carries him through. Again, Cam Newton in this game. Andre Brown, man, dude, that Bengals game was wow.
No,
that was
Rob,
disappointing.
should the Antonio Brown owners be worried?
Mm-mm. No, not at all. Nor should the H.A. Green owners be worried, dude. That thing was in a downpour at times, man.
Oh.
No, there's nothing to worry about there. He's fine.
All right,
Randall Cobb, as we addressed, though, there are concerns. Alan Hearns, you got to kind of wonder about. I mean, where are these balls going to?
Exactly. That's what I'm going to ask you.
Haven't done anything.
It's garbage time. Who is getting these balls? From Blake Bortles.
I think seriously it was like a tight end got one. I don't know. I mean, obviously, first of all, oddly enough, there are only 4 games in the afternoon. They weren't even playing this damn game on the TVs over there. There's too much Raiders shit going on, which probably the last time that the Raiders games have played there from what I saw, because they still come out in force and act with all the class that you would expect out of the Oakland Raiders fan base, right? This time with the mentally handicapped having fits in there. It was awesome. But I don't know. They didn't have the game on, but even if they did, it was about as exciting to me as the Arizona blowout was, God damn. I mean, the only good game on was we were just sitting there analyzing Andrew Luck. I mean, in the afternoon, what was the other one? The Rams and Seahawks. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this game's awful, man. I mean, what is this, 1957 out here? So, I mean, hey, straight LA, he got a big one in there. He's looking pretty good. He's got a nice, well-rounded team. I think he'll be fine. He's got the quarterback to carry him. He's kind of wondering probably about where, expect a little more out of Murray up there in Oakland, but, it's a decent team, and he's got enough. I bet he's wishing he would start Olsen, though. He had a nice,
for sure.
You got a touchdown. Somebody asked me, how long was it? I go, I don't know, 50 yards, and I think that's where the nearest defender was. So that was good. He's got a good team and a good win for straight LA, man.
Yep. Straight LA, you better do something about Abdullah and Moncrief there. Pickups, buddy.
Well, we don't give advice to players. I say stick with them.
This will be after all the picks, anyways. By the time he hears this, it'll be too late for him to make any moves, anyways.
Well, no, but for next week, I'm saying what you do is drop up. Well, actually, I would just go ahead and drop Murray and and sit on AP for a playoff run, dude.
Nope. Solid advice from the commissioner, straight away.
Solid advice, yeah.
Because AP will be available.
No, man. We're going to sit on him for 10 weeks.
Let's go to...
if I make the championship, he might be back, man.
Let's go to the next matchup, High Rollers versus Zika Virus. High Rollers is, who is High Rollers again? It is Manny. All right, Manny, 140 points. Wow, there's a lot of 140 and 140.5 this week.
Well, first of all, if my math is correct here, is there some reason you're saving my ass whooping for last year?
No, I'll explain why we went in this order and what we'll do next week after the podcast, Rob. I'll explain the order.
Always makes the commission look bad. All right, well let's go through Manny real quick here. This is a pretty good performance. Had Drew Brees done anything this week, he probably wins this game. It's hard to with 140. Let's see. Well, he would have been in a 3-way tie with you and Scott. So. Turns out the other day you still would have wanted Sam. So, Yeah, I mean, what are you going to say about this? It's a tough loss. 140, you know,
couldn't flex the QB.
43.27946% of the time you'll win that game, okay? You know, if I'm him, the only thing I'm going to dwell on here is, and I'm highlighting on my screen, which you can't see. In fact, I'll just go to the top three. Odell Beckham, he's not going to stay down this long, right? I mean, at some point, he's going to go monster. Had he scored a touchdown this week, or maybe picked up, you know, a few extra yards receiving, he wins. Jordy Nelson, that's a question mark, you know. I mean, is the old guy, is he still rounding in the game form, or has he lost what is there? I don't know. Alshon Jeffrey, same thing, you know. I mean, this is a rock-solid wide receiving core draft night. It's not playing out that way. Now, the one thing I will point out on this team, though, Julian Edelman might actually get him some passing yards this week.
Yeah.
Because if the backup quarterback, the third string, goes down for New England, that would be Julian Edelman. So, and we've done this before. It does happen. I mean, but he was smart to start Greg Olsen. You know, maximize the team. He's also smart enough not to start Eddie Lacy. So, you know, dude, I like this team a lot. I said that coming, I think, on our draft breakdown. This is a nice-looking team. He's got Tom Brady coming in. You know, he's got some work to do at running back here. Lacy's not going to do it. Williams is a temporary fix. Woodhead's out. And Devontae Freeman, it's a mess, dude. And you know what we always say, you know, you can tear it up in the regular season with the wide receivers, but you don't win shit come playoff time with running backs like that. So that's an issue right there, and a major issue. Jumping over to our winner here, though, Zika, really kind of the same story, Sam. I mean, we just kind of said if he can make it through week 4, 2-2, you know, this team can turn ugly on you real quick. Getting Tom Brady back to match with Andrew Luck and having all those flexes to go could make it very, very difficult. Throwing Le'Veon Bell, you know, this team, that's not a, Manny, I'm a little disappointed in you, brother. That is not a loss I knew Denver or straight LA could afford there, man. You know, it's don't let this guy hang around, and he's 1-1 and halfway to being 2-2. Not much to say about this team. I mean, obviously the Benjamin pickup from San Diego was great, and we'll see if he keeps that up. And you know, and Matt Forte, which
came out of nowhere, it's crazy.
Well, you know, but it's not that far out of nowhere. I mean, when did Matt Forte turn into a piece of crap? I mean, the Chicago Bears turned into a piece of crap, but as far as I remember, you know, he got injured at the end of last year, but
he did. And he's
that
older.
guy's never sucked.
Is he 30 now? I think he's 30 now, right? That's the point where, you know, running back.
He's 30, but yet, I mean, so many guys are basing their whole teams on Adrian Peterson at like 31, right? Yeah. So what's the difference? Matt Forte is a fine player. I mean, and took advantage of a very bad Bills team, you know. So, Zika, he might have something going there, man.
Yeah, you're right. Tom Brady, Le'Veon Bell coming back soon. You're right. Yeah, he could be a first to be messing with. Yeah.
And he's got Julio Jones and Brandon Marshall and Josh Gordon. I mean, if he gets out there, and you know, I don't expect too much out of Gordon, but I mean, you know, but he's a wild card. This guy might, I mean, Mark might actually have something going. So, you know, a very risky draft because he could have come out of this 0-4, no problem. But, you know, 1-1. So I'm rooting for 1-3 and not against Mark, but I mean, I'm in the same division, dude. I mean, I'm trying to win too, right?
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. You're not hating on Mark. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't hate on anybody in this league, man. But dude, that's a tough loss, but again, maybe put up 140. It wasn't like a pedestrian effort, you know. Yeah. It's not like Gang Green's effort, which moves us on to the next game, right?
Let's segue on to the next matchup: Project Badass versus Gang Green.
Well, I do believe I've covered every single player on my team and their ineptitude, right? So let's just go over and say, I mean, I haven't looked at the schedule, but do I have to play Brood Maniacs? Because I'm about tired of playing the Balduses right now. I get one over on Turf Burners. Project Badass had me buried by freaking Thursday at about 8:30. You know, Matt Forte did it in. I just kind of mailed it in from there. I wasn't going to flex anybody importance. I actually rolled out there with Justin Forsett, right? I'm like, I seriously, I was like, I don't know how the rest of these guys are going to do, but I'm not going to waste the flex on Gordon or Decker in this mess, I mean, it's over, dude. So, had Forte not done anything, I probably would have rolled Derek Carr out there. But, that's a subject for another podcast on my, Derek Carr's a nice guy and everything, and I know a good Christian and blah, 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 and he's a local Fresno guy, but, I had a long debate the other night with my friend, and I said he's, Alex Smith, but he's always got a better arm, and I went, oh, okay, so in a skills competition, Derek Carr would win, but what about the tug of war, brother? It just, I'm not seeing it, dude. That was, real quickly, that was a sad-ass effort by Oakland on Sunday. I mean, ridiculous. They lost that game. Their defense has given up, over 1,000 yards in 2 games, and this guy's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. He's got as many 2-point conversions as he does touchdowns, and, that ain't working. So, hey, guys, inside info, Derek Carr is going to be available in a couple weeks. So it's
Rob, what do you think about that 4th down play towards the end there? Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, where they went for it on 4th down.
What do you think about that? I mean, if they would have kicked the field goal, they would have been, obviously. I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I mean, what do you think about that 4th and 1? Do you think that was a good move?
Well, I think that's a coach that's kind of just gambling with house money because everybody's considered him a genius for going for the 2 in the week before, but. Yeah, and it worked out. That was a stupid call then too. I mean,
exactly.
In my, I'm like an old school. Look, I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'm like, I'll run the ball right up the middle, man. And obviously kick the field goal, play for the tie, and we'll see how it works out. That's not really my style. I guess to some people, if they like college football, they go for that shit. But no, I didn't particularly care for that. I mean, just kick the field goal. When you get 3 points, take 3 points.
Yeah.
And it didn't look to me like it was a real easy offense for Oakland anyway against the mighty Atlanta Falcons at home. And did I tell you my story yet about I was going to go up to see, I'm going to see Ween on October 15th.
Go see who?
And my favorite band, Ween. And they're in San Fran. I said, let's go check out when the Chiefs are in Oakland, right? And they happen to be there the next day, so I go, I'll go get tickets because this place is an overflow toilet bowl of a dump, right? I mean, this is just a joke. I figured they'd be giving seats away, right? The best I could get was $147 for high end zone, which I do believe sits out in Hayward somewhere, right? I mean, the place is just an atrocious mess, right? And they're going to Vegas, right?
And how much for parking, Rob?
I don't know. I was going to take the BART in, but, and I figured I had a better chance on BART of not getting stabbed than I did at the actual stadium. But I was just like, no, seriously, to get something around like the 10-yard line, it would have been my sister. And I actually had to scream take my son up there, too, because I am that dumb. I think it would have cost me like $1,100 to go to a fucking football game. And it's like, really? I mean, you would think I was at a Patriots game or something. This is the fucking Raiders, dude. They haven't been competitive in 20 years. And you play in the worst stadium in football, and that says an awful lot about San Diego right there. So, anyway, hey, good week for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Good week. Everybody get your lineups in. Thank you for tuning in. Rob, it's a pleasure as always. Great time just talking football with you. So, So turn in your pickups, guys. And Rob.
Sam, I was going to say it's always a pleasure talking with you, and I appreciate you doing this and everything. But hey, man, I really like you talking about it too. I'm willing to shut up, man. I really am. And we need a special guest for next week. So if you guys want to text me 559. I'd like to get some more special guests going this year.
Rob, that's going online. You just announced your phone number online, Rob.
Well,
millions of people are going to watch this, Rob.
All right, delete that portion and watch it. If if anybody actually is lame enough to tune into our podcast and listen to me, but yeah, go ahead and delete this last portion, brother.
All right. But anyways,
we do want a special guest, though.
Special guest. I will mention on the email though, so people will see that. But awesome.
All right. Yeah, but cut that last part out, brother.
For Rob, I am Sam. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck this week, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam. Thanks.